Welcome to the ICE demo presented by Computer System Innovations. The interactive chapter experience is used for chapters to manage their membership and leadership rosters, submit valuable data to the national organization, as well as access reports to analyze their chapter performance. ICE can be used for collegiate and alumni chapters. ICE can be customized to fit your organization's brand. Most clients rename ICE to make it more unique and identifiable to their members. Logos and styling are set by the national organization and are applied to all chapter ICE pages. Normally, ICE is accessed by chapter officers and advisors, but it can also be accessed by other members that you can identify in your IMIS database. For example, you may wish for your governing board to have access to ICE to view reports for chapters as well as national level reports that you can set to be only viewable to those board members. Let's review some examples. If I'm a chapter officer for this chapter Alpha Alpha, I will only be able to see information about my chapter, but I will not see this executive menu item that is only viewable to staff and volunteers. Since I am logged in as manager, I can see this menu item. If I'm a chapter advisor for this chapter, again, I will only see information about the chapter that I advise. I also may not be able to complete data forms on behalf of the chapter, as the national organization prefers that the chapter officers submit that data. If I'm a staff member, I will be able to click on the Jump to Chapter drop-down and select the chapter that I would want to see. As you can see, I can see all chapters in my IMIS database. I also can see the executive menu option, but I may not have access to all the reports and options under this menu. If I'm a national volunteer or board member, I will also be able to use the Jump to Chapter option, as well as see the executive menu option, but I also may have a unique special section of reports that are only accessible to me as a board member or to maybe my volunteer team members. If I'm a regional volunteer, I will use the Jump to Chapter option, but I will only see chapters in my region in that drop-down list and have access to only my region's information. So as you can see, there are lots of options to cater to the users of ICE and control their access and ability within the system. The landing page in ICE, once a member logs in, is called the dashboard or task center. These boxes are content blocks that you can insert text with important updates and messages or display current stats for the chapter. As you can see here, we can display the most recent numbers or most recent updated dates for this specific chapter. Keep in mind that ICE is pulling data from your IMIS database in real time, so when members come to their ICE page, they are seeing information that is accurate up to the minute. The menu at the top is also customizable by the national organization. These are some examples of what a lot of our clients use. As you can see, each menu has several layers of sub-menu options. There's also an option to add an icon to any of the menu items included. So let's explore some of these menus to show you what ICE can do. Membership is probably the most utilized option in ICE. This is where your chapter will add their new members and manage their current membership roster. So let's add a new member. All ICE actions have a step process that walks you through step by step on how to add a member. The fields for the new member are set by the national organization regarding what you require to receive about that new member when they pledge. Once the information is filled in, you just click Add Person so that the chapter could add the additional new members on their new member roster. You would move forward to the next step. Here you have the opportunity to designate additional information that you want to collect on the new member. In this case, I just need to know the effective date of the pledge activity, which normally is in the past. I would move forward in the process to confirm the changes that I've made and receive a receipt at the end. As you can see, we are asking the officer to sign and insert today's date to validate. If the pledge activity has a financial component, the fees would appear on the chapter record right after this action is completed in ICE. The new member will also receive an email with a link to claim their account. The claim account process allows the new member to confirm the contact information that the officer entered, as well as answer further questions or agree to things like membership obligations if required by the national organization. Chapters can see which members have completed the claim account process so that they may follow up with those that have not completed the process. Manage members is where the chapter can change the status of members on their current roster. The members that appear in this list can be specified by your national organization. Normally, the roster is set to include those member types and statuses that are considered to be active members of the collegiate chapter. So when a member is selected to graduate and their member type changes to an alumna member, they will no longer appear on this roster for selection. The options of the transactions are unique to your organization. Add member to the list is a way for chapters to add members that are affiliating to their chapter from another chapter, as well as adding back members that may have transferred out but return later. So let's pick a few options here. The numbers available for selection are set by qualifiers. If an action requires a member to have a certain member type or status, or completed action or demographic field, the radio button will only be selectable if they fit the criteria set by the organization. The button will be gray if that member does not fit the qualifications. Just like with adding a member, you can set what information you want to collect about the action. The Apply to All function allows you to enter a date. Once you click Apply to All, it will apply the same date to any actions of the same type. So for example, if I'm entering my graduating class, I can put in their graduation date and click Apply to All to apply that same date to the other actions of the similar type. Documents can also be uploaded for the transaction if desired. The officer would continue on to verify their changes. If any actions require further approval, the requirement can be added to that transaction. Approvals can be managed by staff or volunteers as you desire. The Manage Approvals area is only accessible to those that you designate. Once an action is approved, it will complete the process in IMUS and do any applicable record updates like member type or status. Edit member information is a way to allow your chapter officers to update contact information or other information on behalf of their current members. You can also control what fields they can update by using the read-only setting. Your report options are endless. Microsoft SSRS tool must be used to create reports to be used in ICE. With a little training, staff can create reports and upload them easily to ICE. Again, ICE can display any information that is in your IMUS database. Reports can be exported to Excel, Word, or PDF. Chapters can manage their own leadership rosters. You can also allow advisors or house corporations, if you have them, to manage their own respective rosters as well. So let's update a collegiate leader. Any position that is changing should be selected. Once the positions are selected, you can search for the member that is taking that position. If you don't have a replacement, you can select vacant position. The effective date is the date the person will be serving in the position, and that is the date that their access to ICE will be activated, as well as when the previous serving officer's access will be removed, unless she moves to another role with access. The effective date can be entered for the past or future. The reports under leadership can include rosters with contact information for the leaders, as well as other reports like incoming leaders, which is those with future effective dates. The operations, or sometimes called finance menu option, is normally where information about the chapter is provided. as well as any financial obligations to the national organization. You can give chapters the ability to edit their own information that you collect and track in IMIS, as well as examples such like campus leader information that is useful for your national organization. The reports section normally contains chapter profile reports to show details about the chapter. New advisors or board members, as well as chapter visitors, will find this report useful to gain a perspective on the chapter's makeup and performance. The chapter statement is a financial report that shows any pending or paid financial transactions within IMIS that is on the chapter record. They can adjust the date range just like a bank statement, as well as export this information. Goals is an example area where chapters can complete forms to set goals for themselves, as well as a way for them to review reports where national leaders have visited their chapter and provided assessment reports. Rather than emailing reports back and forth, displaying these reports in ICE allows the chapter officers and advisors the same access to easily view and download the reports. Many groups have their chapter visitors submit their reports through ICE so that the chapters can gain access to their results timely. Recruitment, scholarship, and philanthropy are good examples of areas where the chapters will report their progress and have access to reports that help them analyze their performance. These areas provide good examples of how ICE forms work. Recruitment and scholarship sections utilize our scheduled form option. Scheduled forms are published normally at the beginning of an academic year or term. The academic year and term can be set as defaults to guide the chapter in knowing which form to complete. Scheduled forms are not editable after they are submitted and can be archived from this form selection page after a period of time. The data for all forms go into a demographic table within your IMIS database on the chapter's record. Documents can also be uploaded using forms. Let's look at a recruitment form. The recruitment form is the scheduled form, so I would select the academic year and term in which I'm reporting. The fields and field labels on the form are customizable by the national organization. As with all processes in ICE, the member goes through steps to complete the process and verify the information they entered. The philanthropy form is an on-demand form. On-demand forms are used like blank forms with no defaults. Since we don't know how many philanthropy events a chapter may have, they can pick the on-demand form for each event, and it will create a new row in the IMIS demographic table with the event data that they entered. Back under Operations, the Chapter Dates form is a good example of a perpetual form. Perpetual forms are forms that have been filled out and submitted, but the member can reselect the form to edit it. In the Chapter Dates case, the chapters may submit this information before the academic year begins, but they may not have all their calendar dates set for the year. They can submit the data by the deadline, but edit the form later in case some of those dates are changed or confirmed. As we mentioned before, the executive section can be hidden from the chapter officers and advisors, but visible to staff and national volunteers that you designate. This is a great way to share data from IMIS to your volunteers instantly without emailing data back and forth. Your staff and volunteers can serve themselves and retrieve the data whenever they wish. Since the data is up to the minute, it is a great way for board members to view timely information about the chapter and organization's performance. We also talked before how volunteers can use ICE to submit chapter data, but it can also be used to submit any type of data about the chapter so that it will be stored in your IMIS database. So if you have reports that are sent to your national organization frequently, you may change your process for the data to be submitted through ICE. ICE does have an email notification system that allows you to instantly send emails based upon actions that occur in ICE. For example, when a new officer is added, you may send them a customized email giving them information about their position and links to resources. ICE has an administrative portal where the national organization can control the configuration of ICE. Excluding unique customized settings requested by the client, almost all settings can be configured by the ICE client. Examples include the text for all the content blocks that usually provide instructions to the end user, membership actions and leadership actions workflow setup, form build and publishing, report upload, profile build for editing member and chapter information, email notification setup, menu setup, as well as security management. To learn more about ICE, please visit our website at www.csiinc.com. You can click on the Products menu and select that product that you want to know more about. Please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.